So, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining, for coming back and hearing my story. So, I left it that I was going to have a smear test at the doctor's at the same time as I was having um, my bandage replaced and cleaned. So, it was just after the new year, and I went in, and Nurse Abby was really kind and nice and reassuring. So, she did my bandage. Then she said, "All right, now we're going to do the smear test." And I know, ladies, it is so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing to pull your pants down in front of somebody else and then have somebody looking in that area at you. But all I can say is get over it. It's only for a few minutes. And I'm sure even some of you here have had many, many partners that have done a lot worse than just look at those bits. And so you shouldn't be embarrassed at all. Just don't let that be a reason why you don't get a smear test. Anyway, so I got up on the table and she said, "All right, this will just be really quick." And she put the instrument in, and she was having a really difficult time finding my cervix. And to be honest, it was very painful. I was got, "Oh, this really hurts," and I thought, well, it's bound to, because as I said to you before, I hadn't had anything put up there for years. So there was no reason for it to be able to expand and be easy for her. So she eventually managed to get a bit of specimen, and she said, "Okay, right, that's fine. We'll send it off and we'll let you know what the results are." So I walk out the doctor's, and as I'm walking out, Joanna comes out to see me. Oh, bless her, she's so kind. She goes, "How'd you get on?" I said, "Oh, that was really painful. That I really," and she laughed. I thought, "Well, thanks a lot. That's very compassionate of you." She said, I said, "Well, at least it's done now." She said, "Yeah, it's done. So that'll be it for another a little while anyway." So a couple of about a week goes by, and then I get this call from the hospital. "Can you call us back, please?" So I called this number back, and they said, "Yes, we're trying to arrange for you to come in and have an appointment with the nurse at the hospital." I said, "Oh, what's that about?" And they weren't very clear, but when I looked on my notes, they'd found something and they wanted to investigate a little bit more. So I said, "Oh, okay then." So they booked me in for an appointment for the 20th of January. So in between that, I was still going back to the doctors and to get my hand sorted, and I went in to see Joanna, and she cleaned my hand up, and then she goes, "Oh, your eyes are looking a bit yellow. Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I was fine." I said, "What are you, Doc Martin or something?" Looking at me, being able to tell that there's some illness. I said, next thing will be happening is I'm going to be needing a hysterectomy," and we both laughed. And she said, "Well, let me know how you get on at the hospital." So she'd booked me in for another appointment the following week. I said, "Oh, I'll let you know when I come back." So anyway, I go the 20th of January, I go to the hospital, and I walk in. Everything's really quick. Just walk in. I said to the nurse, we're just sitting there, and she's asking me all the various questions. I forgot to take any ID with me, and they'd asked me if I'd got any proof of the fact that I was a British citizen, and I thought, "Oh, I know they have to do checks and everything, but I've come from a referral from the doctors. You've asked to see me, and now I'm having to prove who I am. Who really wants to go to hospital to have this sort of examination done to them? You got to have a bit of a screw loose." Anyway, so she said, "Oh, well, next time you come, bring us some identification." So we just sat there talking. She says, "Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a test on you. I don't know all the technical terms. I'm really sorry. But basically what she was going to do, she was going to scrape a bit of my cervix off, because she said that they'd found some cells there, irregular cells, and they wanted to take a sample of them to see if everything was okay." And so I said, "Yes," I said, "but when I was at the doctor's, it really hurt when she did the smear test, because I believed that it hadn't been, hadn't used that area, so it hadn't expanded. So putting anything up there was really painful." I explained that to her again. And she said, oh, from what you've been telling me, I don't think it's going to be a good idea for me to actually do this test on you, because the instrument that I want to put up you is going to be a lot bigger. And so I said, right, no. She says, so what we'll do is we'll get you in and you can have an operation where they put you to sleep, and then they'll take the sample and then they'll be able to have a good look round. So I said, all right then. So they'll get in contact with you shortly to give you a date for you to come in to do that. It'll be a day visit. You'll come in and then you'll go to the ward. You've been over in during the morning, and then they'll probably let you out sort of mid-afternoon. I thought, well, that's okay. Not particularly bothered, but already this just from having my hand cleaned is escalating, and I thought, goodness me. But we'll go with the flow. So that's what I did. Find out what happened next. Bye.